In the previous issue, the Chinese mutant Zorn finally ended decades of curiosity among X-Men fans when he removed his helmet and revealed the black hole inside his skull. This was an extreme act, meant to neutralize Doug Ramsey's most devastating weapon against his enemies. Logan, Wolverine, now serves as the Angel of Death. Fortunately, the world did not end, and the battle against Revelation, heir to Apocalypse, continues. Very few X-Men survived, and the aging Cyclops now carries the burden of rebuilding the future. After the mutant massacre, Cyclops is with Glob, once a gentle mutant with translucent skin who has now become a cold warrior capable of killing even children. The question is whether even Logan, the Angel of Death, survived a black hole. Considering how much more ruthless he became after Revelation tore away the last pieces of his humanity, the answer is most likely yes. Glob's transformation goes far beyond appearance. This new version, shaped by years of loss, constantly challenges Cyclops. Yet Scott is not responsible for the events that unfolded. His teammates ripped his consciousness 10 years into the future to kill Revelation, but everything went wrong. Magneto, Forge, Archangel, and Zorn are all dead. Impatient, Glob demands silence, insisting that Scott has no idea what they sacrificed to bring him here. And Scott was not the only one dragged into this nightmare. Beast came as well. Arguing among themselves is pointless. The only way for Cyclops to go home and see his beloved wife again is to ensure that Schwarzschild survives long enough to contact their other operative in Philadelphia, capital of Revelation's territory. No matter how he feels, Scott is now involved in this chaos, whether he likes it or not. Hank finds it interesting that Schwarzschild, once a member of the 3K X-Men, is now working with them. Schwarzschild explains that after taking the blame for the X-Virus, the 3K simply vanished, abandoning their X-Men to their fate. No one knows what became of them. Zorn later became his mentor in this world, and now that his master is gone, he stands alone, though he remains one of the originals. To Hank, this is fascinating. Even the feared 3K were overtaken by Revelation. He never imagined Doug could operate with such strategic depth. The X-Virus must be analyzed carefully, and he will receive help from Jennifer Starkey, who has become Animalia in this world. She carries all the data the Beast of this era managed to collect. The Beast from the past thanks her politely, addressing her as Miss Starkey. Jennifer is visibly shocked, pointing out that he does not even know her. Their shared history was clearly lost. Her Hank sacrificed himself for the future, but this version finds the situation strange. Magneto had insisted that their future selves were Babylized, rendered unable to communicate. Jennifer behaves as if the Beast from the past took her Hank's place, something that was said to be impossible. Strange indeed, but for now, they need to move forward. Animalia takes responsibility for aerial reconnaissance. Glob covers the rear, and the others stay on high alert. Wolverine is hunting again. For Cyclops, this entire situation is a nightmare. For Beast, the world is fascinating, though it is worth noting that this Beast never lived through most of the atrocities the X-Men endured. He is merely a clone of the original and has no knowledge of Krakoa or other dystopian futures. Another important point is that since arriving, Scott has tried repeatedly to reach Jean telepathically. No one tells him what happened to her or the Phoenix. At least he feels less alone with his brother Hank beside him. Not that he is happy Beast was abducted as well. If Cyclops had to choose one partner to survive hell with, Beast completes the sentence by suggesting Logan, and Scott admits that a killing machine might not be a bad idea. Elsewhere, having survived a miniature black hole, Wolverine has reverted to a feral animal state, wandering Revelation's lands like a wild beast until Doug himself tracks him down. Quentin located Logan's shattered consciousness to make him suitable for reprogramming once again, turning him back into a mindless killing slave, precisely the existence Logan has despised his entire life. Cortez warns his master how dangerous it is to remain near Wolverine, but Revelation dismisses the concern. He calls himself a friend to all mutants, stating that anything else is simply an aberration that must be corrected. Addressing Logan, Revelation declares that this should not be the case here. With the voice of a god, he commands Wolverine, claiming Logan wants nothing more than to obey him. This time, Wolverine resists Apocalypse's gift. Doug must ask Cortez to lend his strength, again declaring that Logan's deepest desire is to obey. Wolverine resists once more, and Revelation calls for additional power from his choristers, Chance and Cora. With increased force, Revelation repeats the command. Wolverine wants nothing more than to obey and slaughter his enemies. Even the strongest mind is crushed, humiliated, and forced to kneel before Revelation. Subjugated, Doug orders Logan to don his armor, mask, and rise as his most loyal angel of death to execute his enemies. Later, the rebels reach a place that feels both different and painfully familiar to Cyclops. This land is what once was the Charles Xavier Institute. Strangely, no one lives here. One of the most important mutant landmarks, in a world ruled by mutants, sits empty. Animalia explains that the importance lies not in what it once was, but in what it became. Scott finally remembers Grey Malkin Prison. After the virus spread, Dr. Ellis sealed the prison with all detainees inside, abandoning them to their fate. When Revelation discovered Karina, she was literally crucified as a symbol of the horrors committed within. The scenes are terrifying. And now the reason the land is empty becomes clear. It is haunted. From the soil, victims of the massacre rise, surrounding the X-Men as if acting on their own. But they are not self-directed. They have a master, a survivor of the horrors. They are enraged but follow the will of Toru, the child known as Death Dream. Cyclops recognizes him as one of Rogue's new kids, but Toru has not aged a single day. The contact Glob mentioned is Death Dream and his dead followers, who guard the guerrilla equipment the X-Men need to carry out their mission to kill Doug. Schwarzschild manipulates gravity to lift the debris and reveal special weapons created by Forge, including a teleportation device with only one shot, enough to send them to Philadelphia in an instant and avoid Wolverine. But the cache contains more than Forge's designs. Beast recognizes something he could have created himself, yet that should be impossible if his future counterpart was truly Babylized. Another strange inconsistency. Focusing on the plan for Philadelphia, the X-Men will regroup with allies and do their best, despite their dangerously diminished numbers. Cyclops tells Schwarzschild that before going home, and he fully intends to return, he wants a serious discussion about the 3K. He wants to learn everything about the mutant Illuminati to deal with them in his time. Schwarzschild promises that if they survive, he will share every secret Cyclops wants to know. Then the worst happens. The Angel of Death has already found them. Animalia establishes contact and alerts the team. Hank must accelerate the setup because they have a very unwelcome guest. This new glob is fierce and impressive, keeping Wolverine at bay with a futuristic anti-proximity rifle. Meanwhile, Cyclops, as the greatest X-Men leader of any era, starts directing the battle. Animalia reports Logan is 3 meters from a fallen tree. Despite Scott's precision, Wolverine dodges the first optic blast effortlessly. Scott orders Death Dream to unleash a wave of his undead allies against Wolverine, assuming they cannot be killed twice. He then instructs Schwarzschild to remove gravity once Logan closes in, making it impossible for him to kill without standing upright. Glob challenges Scott, demanding to know who made him leader, and Scott fires back that among Magneto, Zorn, Forge, and Archangel, Glob has plenty of options. After all, Scott was kidnapped into this future against his will. Wolverine charges like a predator and vanishes from Animalia's line of sight. Cyclops relies on Death Dream's morbid abilities, but there is a problem. Toru has never feared death. if he can even be considered alive. Wolverine, however, has always terrified him. Near Logan, Toru never felt safe. Fear breaks his concentration, and Wolverine brutally beheads him in a shocking scene. Without their master, the spectral apparitions spiral out of control and threaten the X-Men. Beast scrambles to activate the teleport, but Wolverine realizes Beast is his next target. Animalia intervenes just in time. Cyclops shouts for everyone to duck and fires one of his most devastating blasts into Wolverine's back. They must escape immediately. Cyclops declares that he knows Logan is still inside that monster and refuses to abandon him. The teleport works, sort of, but does not deliver them where they intended. If this is Philadelphia, something is terribly off. Everything looks normal, without vegetation, with civilians nearby. Only Schwarzschild recognizes the truth. With Death Dream's ghosts in chaos, the teleport parameters malfunctioned, and they are now in Providence. Revelation controls nearly the entire East Coast, except for Providence. The reason is both comforting and terrifying. The legends were true. Illyana died in the fateful assault on S.H.I.E.L.D., but the Dark Child survived. With her is a juggernaut deeply bonded to magic, and the fallen seraph of Revelation's empire, the mutant assassin Quanon, also known as Psylocke.